So, Chapter 6 is concerned with what we call the nomenclature of inorganic compounds. And this term nomenclature, you might not have heard it before, but it really just means a naming system. So this chapter is about the naming system for a class of compounds that are referred to as inorganic compounds. So to begin with, we're going to define the difference between what we call common and systematic names. So common names are names that are just used because of tradition or familiarity, and or because perhaps they are somewhat easier to pronounce. And then systematic names are names that are created from within a system. And the system that we use in chemistry for naming chemical compounds was devised by an organization called the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemists. So, chemical nomenclature is simply the system that we use to distinguish compounds from each other and the rules used to devise their names. So, every compound has its own unique name that distinguishes it from every other compound that we've ever discovered or invented. So, as I mentioned, these rules are developed by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemists. And, it's important to have a naming system because we have around about 60 million chemical compounds that chemists have either identified or create. And every one of them needs to be able to be distinguished from the other, so each needs a unique name. Now, it's important to realize that there are a lot of compounds out there, often those containing hydrogen, that have common names that continue to be used, or in fact are more commonly used. And two examples that we're going to see again and again and again are water, which has the formula H2O, and ammonia, which has the formula NH3. And both of these are very important in biology and physiology, and you'll see them being used with those names again and again and again throughout all of the courses that you take. So that concludes our section on common and systematic names. Common names are just names that we use for ease or by tradition, that are well known and are popularly used. And then systematic names are names that are derived from applying the rules set out by the IUPAC for the naming of chemical compounds.